A shooting star. You missed it. A leprechaun with a pot of gold. You missed it. The love of your life just walked right by you, but you missed it. Why? Because you were too busy looking down at your cell phone. Technology has brought us a long way. It has helped us improve our daily lives, such as using a timer to time the speech. Heck, it even helps us do our homework in 10 times less the amount of time than it took about 30 years ago. But what do you think? How does technology impact us negatively? Cell phones have isolated us from society, impacted our relationships and personality, and even increased the amount of burden in our lives. Nowadays, one can open up Facebook and see where someone is. Open up Snapchat and see what someone had for dinner. Open up Instagram and you'll be able to see what someone did that day. So what do you think? Are we too connected to one another? Or maybe cell phones have isolated us even more. Let's say you're sitting at the dinner table with, let's say, a significant other, and the entire time they were too busy looking down at their cell phone instead of paying attention to you. How does that make you feel? Or let's try this. I want everybody to take a second and think of your favorite memory of an interaction you've had in life. Take a second. Now, I'm pretty sure for most, if not all of you, that interaction took place in person, not over the phone. Am I right? But technology has pulled us away from these special moments. Instead of socializing in person, we LOL through text. We don't use our voices anymore. We use our fingers. And when it comes to physical touch, a little poke on Facebook will do. Even negative emotions like Twitter, we take to that instead of in-person confrontation. So, what do you guys think? Are we too connected to one another? Now, according to the Journal of Behavioral Addictions, the average college student spends 8 to 10 hours per day on their cell phone.
Oh.
8 to 10 per day.
Oh.
Per day. Dr. James Roberts, a professor at Baylor University, conducted a study on students where he found that the average college student spends 95 minutes a day texting, 50 sending emails, 40 on Facebook, 35 surfing the internet, and 25 listening to music. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't include other social medias like Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. It also doesn't include you playing apps and games on your phone or catching up with your favorite sports team. Am I right? So take this into consideration. There are 24 hours in a day, and you spend all of this time on your phone. How many hours are left? Now, out of those hours, how many do you spend sleeping at school or maybe at home alone? How many hours do you actually have left to be with society? In a technology overview published by Amanda Lenhart in 2015, she found that 92% of teenagers have social media. And out of that 92%, 71% of them have more than one. Some people are beginning to think that social media is an acceptable form of communication now. What if I also told you that cell phones impact your relationships? According to Jesse Fox in The Dark Side of Social Networking Sites, cell phones increase psychological stress. Let's take Facebook and put it into a relationship perspective, for example. You're in a relationship and you don't really trust your significant other. There's a lot of jealousy. So now Facebook can become a method of surveillance for you to check in on your partner to make sure they aren't doing anything that you don't like. Now, one of life's most prized possessions is a mating partner. But cell phones have even changed the way that we court one another. We can now use emojis to display signs of affection, even go on Tinder, and you'll be able to find a match. And even the minor things, such as just liking someone else's photo on Facebook or Instagram. Now, cell phones can also hinder us from defining our personalities. So I want everybody to imagine this. You're walking on a street on campus, and like most college students, you're looking down at your phone while you're walking. Now, at the other end of that street is someone walking straight towards your direction. You notice this person, and they notice you. So no big deal, you keep on walking. But for most people, as they get closer to that other person, they'll purposely avoid eye contact. Some people will even look at their phones like they're super busy doing something. Who's guilty? Now, imagine all the things that could have happened if you didn't look at your phone. You could have made eye contact, and because you have nothing else to turn away to, you could have smiled at each other. And a smile can go a long way for a lot of people. And that's what humanity should be about. Keo Stark, an author of novels, said in a speech just last month that talking to strangers on the street actually increase your happiness. She also makes a claim that in many cultures, ignoring strangers on the street is considered rude. Then think of America. That's all we do here. We walk by one another like it's no big deal, like the other person is nothing. And better yet, while we're walking, we're looking down at our cell phones. We're not looking at the world above us. Now, as a college student, you also have many burdens in life. School, sleep, a social life. But cell phones add to that burden. It becomes something that you're held accountable for every single day. And I'm pretty sure most of us even make time in the day just to catch up on social media before bed or see what our friends are doing. Ayn Baynes, in The Computers of Human Behavior, says that college students have a fear of missing out. Alt Dort says in the same journal that the increased use of technology is associated with the increased Alt Dort said that the increased use of technology is associated with the increased need to feel popular and to belong. Now, let's be honest. While you're doing your homework, and let's say your phone's right there, it rings and buzzes. How many of you can actually resist the temptation of checking who or what it is before you complete your homework? I'm pretty sure it'd be safe to say, not many of us. Now, don't get me wrong. It'd be ridiculous for me to tell you guys to take your cell phones and just throw them out the window. I'm also not saying to walk away from social media because I still believe that it's a good way for us to keep in touch, to make plans in person. So what am I getting at? The National Day of Unplugging on March 3rd and 4th of 2017. People everywhere are taking the pledge to unplug for as long as they can. And keep in mind, this isn't something that you have to do alone. Get together with a group of friends and decide to leave your phones at home. Then go out for a bite, maybe a hike.
Ooh.
Now, although most of us may feel naked and afraid without your phones, just remember that the best experiences in life are documented in your memories, not on Facebook or Snapchat. The movement also knows that your cell phones are important to you, which is why the pledge says that if you can't unplug for a whole day, you'll unplug for as long as you can. It also has quite a creative list of things you can do while you unplug, some of which are actually quite intriguing.
Talking.
Brian Tedder, the lead vocalist for One Republic, uses the lyrics in the song I Lived to convey a really powerful message. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I swear I lived. So go sign the pledge, not because I told you to, but because you don't want cell phones to increase the burden in your life, to isolate you from society, to impact your relationships and personality. Don't miss out on the shooting star anymore, or the leprechaun with a pot of gold, or even the love of your life walking right past your face. So join me, your friends, and your classmates, and the nation in unplugging for a day.